Inari Amertron saw its shares recoup some losses today after analysts said all negative news had been priced in and it is unlikely to be affected by Apple's move to phase out Broadcom's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi chips and replace them with an in-house design chip. Inari manufactures RF chips for Broadcom, which also supplies these and other components to Apple. At the close, Inari settled 0.38% higher at RM2.65, giving the group a market value of 9.89 billion ringgit. Public Invest research analyst Chong Ho Leong said in a note today that in the event that Apple successfully develops all types of chips required by its devices, Inari's direct exposure to Apple is estimated at just 17 to 18%. Alternatively, Apple could directly outsource its assembling and testing jobs to the usual OSAT partners, Chong said, adding that chances of Apple expanding into the OSAT area are low. He said that at Inari's current share price, the negative news flow has been fully priced in and may present a buying opportunity. He kept his outperform rating with a target price of RM3.74. Meanwhile, Kenanga research analyst Samuel Tan does not expect Apple's move to hurt Inari's earnings in the immediate term, as the Malaysian company does not make any of the components involved in the chipsets that are said to be eventually dropped. Moreover, he noted that RF filters are much more complex in design compared to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth modules and are unlikely to be replaced in the short term. He maintained a market perform recommendation for Inari, though he lowered his target price to RM2.60. Serba Dinamik Holdings will appeal the High Court's decision to reject its bid to adjourn winding up proceedings and to proceed to shutter the oil and gas service provider over debts totaling about 5 billion ringgit. In a statement, Serba Dinamik said the appeal will be on the basis that its associate company was prepared to offload equity interest or assets for estimated net proceeds of $700 million or 3.06 billion ringgit. It said its share of the sale proceeds can be used to pay down the debts of the group, adding that there is an active negotiation with the prospects on the proposed sale. With an adjournment, the company said the parties involved, including the interim liquidator, will be able to deliberate on the proposed sale. It added that its board trusts that an orderly sale of the assets will maximize returns to the group's creditors. Serba Dinamik sought to postpone the winding up proceedings yesterday after a legal representative of eFire Capital Holdings, a joint venture company between Serba Dinamik and an Abu Dhabi firm, argued that eFire Capital should be allowed to sell its assets to aid in the repayment of the group's debt. However, the 6 financial institutions petitioning to wind up the group and 3 of its subsidiaries objected, so the court dismissed Serba Dinamik's application. Malaysia's manufacturing sales continued to record double-digit growth last November on higher sales in electrical and electronics goods, petroleum, chemical, rubber and plastic products, as well as transport equipment and other manufacturers. The Department of Statistics Malaysia, or DOSM, said in a statement today, factory sales grew 11.8% year-on-year in November 2022 to 159.2 billion ringgit. According to Chief Statistician Datuk Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin, sales of exported goods grew 13.6% in November, while domestic sales improved by 7.1%. As for the industrial production numbers, DOSM said the index rose by 4.8% in November 2022 due to growth in the mining, manufacturing and electricity sectors. Output by export-oriented industries expanded by 5.1% and production by domestic-oriented industries grew 4.3%. Another set of economic data showed Malaysia's wholesale and retail trade sales growing 13.9% year-on-year to 133.9 billion ringgit last November. The retail trade subsector grew 26% to 58.3 billion ringgit, while wholesale trade rose 7.3% to 59.9 billion ringgit. KKB Engineering has bagged 2 contracts worth 351.7 million ringgit, consisting of an engineering, procurement and construction EPC contract and a steel pipe purchase order. In a burst filing today, KKB said that its subsidiary Ocean Mites received a letter of award from Sarawak Shell with limited notice to proceed for the provision of EPC of standard wellhead platforms for the Malaysia LNG FAS gas field development. Meanwhile, its subsidiary KKB Industries Sabah received a purchase order from Serba Dinamik contractor for the supply of mild steel concrete lined pipes. The Sarawak Shell contract is effective from December 2022 until completion of work, whereas the completion period for the Serba Dinamik contractor job is 9 months. KKB said the projects are expected to contribute positively towards its earnings for the duration of the contract and order. KKB's shares ended today 3.65% higher at RM1.42 for a market capitalisation of 409.99 million ringgit. The Kuala Lumpur High Court has given the green light for Alam Maritime Resources and its subsidiary Alam Maritime Malaysia to hold a meeting with its creditors in 3 months as part of its efforts to come to an agreement on a proposed scheme of arrangement to restructure the payment of its debts. Judicial Commissioner Liza Chan Sao Keng also granted a 3-month restraining order in favour of the companies against any legal proceedings. In May 2021, Alam Maritime secured the required court orders to facilitate its restructuring plan by way of a scheme of arrangement with its creditors. In July 2021, Alam Maritime announced it had received the Corporate Debt Restructuring Committee's approval for its application for assistance to mediate between the company and certain subsidiaries, joint venture companies and associated companies. The company fell into PN17 status last October after its external auditor expressed a disclaimer of opinion on the group's audited accounts for the financial period from January 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022.